Hi, I'm Dave Khale, and I just want to share with you something that has been very meaningful to me, and I think is very encouraging to all of you viewers. First of all, I want to share this document, and you'll see on the piece of paper here that there is this a hand drawing, and over on the left-hand side there you see these buildings that look sort of like a city. See this little guy, a little stick figure on the road moving from left to right. And there's some words there. As the arrows point to the right, there's some words that say, "A knight in shining armor," and then connect you to knights in shining armor in the faith, parentheses, mature. Underneath that, the words, "Don't lose heart." And then the road turns 180 degrees, comes to a sudden turn at the edge of the paper, and it says a turn of events is coming very soon. And the road goes back in the opposite direction, the direction in which it came, and the words at the top of the paper say God is preparing a people for you to impart to and impact. God will bring you to your destination and will connect you to significant people. And then there's a city, a little more extravagant city, and up at the top left-hand corner are the words October 2011. Now you're wondering what all that means, and I did too. I was wondering when I saw it too. Here's the story behind it. For 20 some years I've been a professional speaker and a sales trainer and sales expert, sales consultant. I've written 9 books. I've presented in 47 states and 9 countries, and I have a bit of a following over the years. One of the things that we have done to build the business is public seminars, and these are seminars where we would arrange for the venue and promote them, and people would pay to come, and seminars were a great part of our business. So business was, as a result of the recession, business was down significantly. And in the time period from June of 2011 through December of 2011, in a time period when we would reasonably expect to be getting maybe a couple inquiries a month, or I'm sorry, a couple inquiries a week, people wanting to know, are you available to speak at this date and that date and so on. We had 0 inquiries for 6 months, absolutely nothing. And business was down. We downsized, reduced our staff from 7 down to 2, reduced our office space, and was wondering really whether or not there was going to be a business. Now in this time period when I was just suffering from the dramatic impact, negative impact of the recession and everything else on my business, I arranged and contracted with Wise Ministries. Now Wise Ministries is a group out of Austin, Texas, and they are corporate intercessors. They pray on behalf of people as a service. So I contracted with Wise, and they were praying for me. And the way it worked is I would send them a prayer request, a list every week, and they would pray through it and record their prayers and send it back. And then once a month or so, I would have a conference call with Charles Robinson, who is the head of this ministry, Charles and Elizabeth Robinson. And that's how it worked. And in October of 2011, just in the depths of this real depression and business downturn, I was doing a program in Dallas, Texas, and Robinsons are in Austin. They invited me down to spend the day, and so I went. I spent the day with them in Austin, and during the course of that day, we had a very intense prayer time, and Charles and I prayed very intensely. Elizabeth was there, and she was kind of off to the side drawing this drawing. Now after our prayer time, she shared it with me, and she said this is what God wants you to know, that he sees you as a knight in shining armor, that he is going to connect you with other mature knights in shining armor. Don't lose heart. A sudden turn of events is coming. And God is preparing a people for you to impart to and impact significant people. God will bring you to your destination. Dated in October 2011. Well, I thought that was very encouraging, but there wasn't anything really actionable. And so when I got back to my office, I put it in my drawer and basically forgot it. Then during the course of this time, now we're into December and January and November, Charles, in my monthly calls with him, would say, don't lose heart, stick in there till June. And of course I was beginning to think, should I lay everybody off, close the business, and so on. So don't do anything dramatic until June, something about June. Okay, so then the spring came, and looked like the economy was turning back a little bit. So we determined that we have to do something to grow the business, or at least start some activity. And we decided we would really go full blast into the public seminars. And we did a very thorough job of identifying the cities where there would be the most likely responses, and we arranged with 9 national associations to co-sponsor them. We cut the price by 30%, and we doubled the marketing. So, and we were going to do these seminars in May and June. And off we went to this real aggressive promotion of public seminars. And the first 6 seminars we promoted in the months of May and June, we got 1 paid registration. Astonishing. I thought this has to be supernatural, that we can't be this bad, that this has got to be God stepping in. That was in May and June of 2012. And so I began to think, probably the whole public seminar, which has been the vehicle that has propelled the business in the last 10 or 15 years, probably that's dead, and that I should look for something else to do, at least part-time. And so I began to think about doing something else to be compatible with that. And my first thought was round tables, and there's a whole backstory as to why that was my first thought, but I had considerable experience with round tables in the past. So I began to investigate round tables, and then narrowed in on Christian round tables, narrowed it down, and eventually I found myself June 23rd in Indianapolis visiting with Truth at Work, and they were having a chapter president training, and I just sat in on the chapter presidents and just got a sense of who they were. And as I left and drove back to Grand Rapids, about a 5-hour drive, I thought, these really are mature people. This is where I want to be. I decided I didn't want to be any longer. For years I have been superficially important to a lot of people and not intensely important to anyone. I thought this would be a great opportunity to flip that thing around. And so I came back and decided I was going to apply to be a chapter president at Truth at Work and create Christian roundtables. I was going to tap into my base of followers and people who knew me and see if we couldn't develop a video program. And in this process somewhere, I opened up the drawer and pulled out the piece of paper that I just showed you, and read it again and thought, oh my goodness, wow, this is all part of his plan. Oh, I was astonished. The sudden turn of events was the demise of the public seminars. Six seminars and 1 registration. That's pretty dramatic. And the significant people who God is preparing for me are the CEOs and business leaders who are going to be in these groups, and he's got it all planned. I'm just a soldier in his army, knight in shining armor, and I just couldn't help but think, wow. We all know, and we've heard it said so many times, that God has a plan for each of us, and we can accede to that intellectually. But to see the specifics and the details through a prophetic word, and how his hand is in all of this, was to me just absolutely awesome. So I thought I'd share that with you. Bye-bye.